But also, Baba David, we'll be receiving, God willing, our HVAC unit, our heating, ventilation, and air conditioning unit for the Honorable Marcus Garvey Elementary School on October the 31st or the 30th, which is the 11th year anniversary of my original debut keynote at the National Black Theater in Harlem, where I became known to the entire world. So it's been almost 11 years. It will be 11 years at the end of next month. Thank you to New York City. Thank you to Chicago, because it was those two cities, our two largest black metropolises, that really helped push Dr. Umar's work and message out to the world. So I owe a tremendous debt to both Chicago as well as New York City for helping me to become who I have became.
Well, you get around, and you've been, you know much about Philadelphia, New York, Washington. Is there any particular city that you think is more conscious than, say, the rest of the country?
It would probably be New York and Chicago. The conscious energies in those cities are probably vibrate higher than the other places, but that's also because they are the two largest black communities. So if you were to ask that question another way and say, okay, which city has the highest per capita level of black consciousness, I couldn't answer that. I know New York and Chicago has the highest level of black consciousness overall because they have the two highest black populations. But if you go per capita, there's some cities that might shock you, like a Washington, D.C., a Fort Lauderdale, Florida, a Little Rock, Arkansas, Houston, Texas, of course, Detroit. Milwaukee is another city that's high in consciousness. Shout out to Milwaukee. Like, per capita, Baba David, it'd be hard to answer that question because cities that you wouldn't normally think of when it comes to black consciousness, they have a strong black conscious energy in a lot of those places that are not traditionally associated with black consciousness. But at the end of the day, New York and Chicago are probably still the king and queen of black consciousness.
And I ask you that because you've been on a cross-country tour, book signing tour, and you've listed a lot of places that I say, ooh, they those people, they got black people down there?
Yeah, I always joke, too. When I go to the cities like Omaha, Nebraska, Fort Worth, Texas, which is heavily black, by the way. I think Fort Worth is like a top 20 city in terms of per capita. Small, but per capita, a lot of black folks there. But I always joke with the small cities, and I say, hey, we got to take some pictures so I can post them up because black people don't think there's black people here. I always say that. I was in St. Croix last weekend, U.S. Virgin Islands, to celebrate the 84th anniversary of the Ethiopian World Federation with our Rastafari brothers and sisters, and I said the same thing to them. I said, black folks in America don't know if there's black folks in St. Croix, so we got to take some pictures. But shout out to the Ethiopian World Federation. I joined them, by the way, local number 5 in St. Croix. I think it's important to support all the Pan-African organizations. I'm still a member of the UNIA ACL Division 407 Detroit. So I'm with the Detroit Garveyites, and I'm with the St. Croix EWF. And, of course, I have my own movement, Team Pan-African. And speaking of that, Baba David, 10 days after the block party on September the 21st, 10 days after the block party on September the 21st, which is Kwame Nkrumah's Earth Day, I will be hosting a special new members orientation for brothers and sisters who want to join Team Pan-African, because it's time for us to really get serious about repatriation and Pan-Africanism and start really doing some real work around Pan-Africanism. Too much lip service. So anybody listening who is a Pan-Africanist, you must be a Pan-Africanist. This is not for somebody who is searching. This is not for somebody of another ideology. This is only for die-hard Pan-Africanists. If you're interested in coming to the new members orientation, you have to email me a letter of interest to teampanafrican@yahoo.com. And on the email, we spell African with a C. Although we Pan-Africanists spell Africa with a K, for the email, we spell it with a C. So it's TEAMPANAFRICAN, Team Pan-African, one word, at yahoo.com. Send me a interest letter. It only has to be a page. Tell me who you are, what skills and talents do you bring to the table, and why are you interested in being a member of Team Pan-African. If you're selected to be a part of the meeting, you will get an email confirmation with the address where the secret meeting is going to be held. It will be held in Wilmington, Delaware on Tuesday, September the 21st from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. Dinner will be served. From 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. Dinner will be served. Tuesday, September the 21st, Kwame Nkrumah's Earth Day, 16th anniversary of Team Pan-African. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested, please send a letter of interest. Make sure you tell me who you are. Make sure you tell me what your skills and talents are. And make sure you tell me why you want to be a part of this. And that's Team Pan-African with a C at yahoo.com. 10 days after the block party. And, of course, Baba David, 60 days after the block party on November the 11th, I will be back down in Nat Turner Land, Virginia, with the Nat Turner Library, celebrating the 190th memorial of the lynching of Nat Turner, who led the bloodiest and most revolutionary slave revolt on American soil on my birthday, August the 21st, but he was executed on November the 11th.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Now, I had a question about the festival. If let's say I had a business or an organization that I wanted to come up and do some giveaways, give away some school supplies, do I have to register as a vendor or?
If you're giving away things, you would first have to check in with me so I can see what it is that you're giving away to make sure it's not a contradiction of what we stand for. I know that's not an issue with you, but with other people it could be. So we got to see exactly what they're giving away. And if it checks out with me, then we may go ahead and allow that. Of course, we have to be careful because you never know what people may be trying to give away and cause harm. So we got to be very careful with that. But we're not against it. But if you want to be a vendor, I think all the spots are taken at this point. But if somebody wants to vend and if you want to find out, you can email Sister Carolyn at FDMG Vendors, VENDORS, FDMG Vendors at gmail.com. I think the performance lineup is pretty much set too. But if anybody want to perform and you want to check to see if there's any spaces, you can email FDMG Performances, plural, FDMG Performances at gmail.com. And general questions, you can email FDMG Festival at gmail.com. And if anybody wants to reach me directly, or if they want a flyer to the festival this Saturday, they can text me at 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858.
Okay, what about parking? Do I have to park far away and walk a far way?
Parking will be first come, first serve in the immediate community. There will be no parking on the 600 block of 17th Street because that's where the festival is taking place, and that is going to be blocked off anyway by the barricades as well as the cones as well as the stage, because the stage is going to be at the top of the block. So there will be absolutely nowhere to park on our block, on the 600 block. But the next block, there will be parking, and all in the adjacent blocks, there will also be parking. Because it is an inner-city community, like all of our inner-city communities, we do ask that people don't leave anything visible in your car. When you park, put everything in the trunk. Don't leave anything looking suspicious that might be worth something. Not to say that our brothers and sisters would break in, but just as a safety precaution, it is best that you don't leave any valuables, anything at all, exposed in your car.
Yep, no temptations.
And put it in the trunk.
I do that anyhow, everywhere I go. I ain't even going to leave no change laying around, because people break your window for 50 cents.
Absolutely. You got to be careful. I remember I did a lecture in Detroit. Shout out to Detroit. I love Detroit. And a sister came back in, and I'm sure that this doesn't just happen in Detroit. It happens in other places. But this particular example, it happened in Detroit. And the sister came back in and said, Dr. Umar, while I was in here listening to your lecture, they put my car on 4 center blocks and stole the wheel.
Wow.
Right outside of the Shrine of the Black Madonna, Shrine number 1.
Wow.
Black Madonna. Yeah. And it hurt my heart. I'll never forget it because it just hurt me. It just hurt me. And the sister kept her spirit so high, though, Baba David. She said, I'm not going to worry about it, Dr. Umar. I'm going to get me some new tires tomorrow. And I don't regret coming here to hear you because I really enjoyed your message. They stole all 4 of her tires while she was at the Dr. Umar lecture. So what we will have, though, we will have some brothers from the new Black Panther Party walking around the blocks just to, check on the cars.
That's right.
Everything is okay. The police will be doing that as well. They'll be checking on the surrounding cars as well.
So there will be security, ample security.
Yes.
That's good. Listen, I feel protected anyhow, just coming. So listen, what will your, you don't have to tell us the lecture, but what will it be about? In fact, I was going to ask you, what are some of the things that's on your mind now that's going on in the world?
What's going on in the world? We got some unrest in Africa, civil war in Ethiopia. We still got the Chinese trying to colonize Africa as well as the Caribbean. We're still totally disorganized as the people, which continues to bother me every single day that I wake up. We are not serious about our liberation at all. Black people are comfortable being second-class global citizens. Obviously, this whole corona situation. But at the end of the day, Baba David, we got to start with the right and left foot of liberation, and that's education and economics. Until we start educating our own children and until we start using our money to build political power, we will never be free. The one thing black people do not do that everybody else does, and that is leverage their financial strength to build political power. We do not, we are allergic. Black people are allergic to using their money to achieve political means. We are allergic. We will not do it. We will march, we will vote, we will protest, we will pray, we will rally, but we will not concentrate our dollars in order to build black power. That's why the Chinese are in front. That's why the Mexicans are in front. That's why the Anglo-Saxons, the Jews, the Arabs, the East Indians, everybody is in front of the black folks when it comes to organization, domestically and globally, because we are too selfish and too untrusting of one another to put our money together to build that black power. I don't care how many T-shirts we wear. I don't care all the black talk, all the conscious events. Until we start merging our dollars together to achieve black power, we're never going to be free. We will always be second-class citizens. We will always be killed by the police because you're not able to give out any consequences. Black folks can't give out no political and economic consequences because we are disorganized. Only organized people can administer organized consequences. All we can do is riot. That's it. We riot. That's the only consequence you get when you do something to black folks. You have to deal with a temper tantrum that might last 3 or 4 days. That's it. Every other community, they have organized consequences, but you got to have organized dollars for there to be organized black power.
And they have control over the politicians that's supposed to represent them.
Absolutely. If you're not funding the politicians, you can't control them. I don't care who you voted for. Because, see, here's the thing, Baba David. You can't prove who you voted for, but you can prove who you funded. If we go to the mayor right now and say, Mayor Kenny, 99, I voted for you, Baba David voted for you, 99% of all the black men in Philadelphia voted for you. It's going to be hard for him to find out whether we actually voted for him or not, because votes are anonymous. Campaign contributions are not. That's the difference. You can't prove who you voted for, but you can prove who you funded because all of that is recorded. And until black folks start funding their own candidates, will never be taken seriously by the political community. Never. That's why Barack Obama ignored you. Everybody else is going to ignore you until black people wake up and smell the coffee and understand you got to leverage those bucks and fund people's campaigns if you want to control their behavior. We show up after they already been elected. Too little, too late.
With no demands.
Well, the demands come after they in office. If you're making demands after they got elected, it's too late.
That's true.
Those demands were supposed to have been negotiated at the time that you was handed over that briefcase full of campaign money. Police are not held accountable because police finance Republicans and Democrats. Teachers are not held accountable because teachers fund Democrats and Republicans.
That's right. Both sides.
And nobody wants to take on the teaching because they got the money, they got the votes. Black people got the votes, and black people got the money, but black people won't tie the money to the votes.
They support the good cop and the bad cop. So when they need the bad cop to come out, they're going to come out. When they need the good cop,
absolutely. The good cop come out. Both sides of the war, so no matter who wins,
that's right. Win. That's right. So we have another caller all the way from New Orleans. Ida ravaged New Orleans. Good evening, Eric. How you doing, man?
Hey, God bless you all, good brothers. How y'all doing today?
How you make it out, man? Were you affected by the hurricane?
Yeah, I left the Saturday before the hurricane, which was around Sunday. So I'm here in Jackson, Mississippi right now, so we'll hopefully get back Wednesday or Thursday when the power's cut back on.
Wow, you had to leave all this time? You've been gone? I know you worried about your home.
Yeah, the outside of it looks good, but who knows what the inside looks like? You never know until you open that door and do a good search of it,
You mean from the water, the flood waters?
Yeah. How y'all doing in Mississippi and Philadelphia? I understand Ida came there too, huh?
Well, it has some remnants. It flooded our expressway. I couldn't understand that. They didn't think about that when they was building them. The architects, making it like a valley, making such a dip just in case where the water going to run. It's going to run right to the middle, and it's going to spread out from there. So, they had on our expressway, on 76 Expressway, they had cars over the roof, over the cars, in this water.
That's phenomenal. Yeah.
Some houses, got damaged, with a lot of flood. I said, ooh, I'm so glad my house is not like that. And so somebody asked me, well, did you check your basement for flood? I said, well, look, if my basement's wet, ain't nothing I can do about it, no how. So I'll just wait till it dry up if it is wet.
Yeah, it's something else, that's for sure.
So you had a question for our doctor?
Yes, for those, Dr. John, for those who won't be able to make it after the event is over, will it be videotaped so that you can put it on YouTube and show that some of the highlights?
I'm not a big fan of videotaping special events for the public, but there will be more events. I will say that. We're almost done with the renovation of the gym, which is definitely large enough for us to host some functions. So once the HVAC unit is completed on the gym, we will start having events on campus this fall. I am very much looking forward to that. And then if all goes well with the school, we might just be having our grand opening of the Marcus Garvey Elementary School during Black History Month. That's what we're pushing for. Yeah, we want to have a week-long celebration, bring out some of our scholars and master teachers. We got 10 classrooms in there, plus the gym, probably put the vendors inside the gymnasium and have the workshops inside the school. So we're looking at Black History Month for our grand opening. Frederick Douglass's birthday, which is Valentine's Day, February the 14th. That's the date we celebrated.
What? Anyway. That's his birthday?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Frederick Douglass Day is Valentine's Day.
That's amazing.
Just like Nat Turner Day is Veterans Day, November the 11th. So it's amazing how a lot of American holidays fall on the same date as our African
heroes. Yeah, and that's amazing. So so we don't have to celebrate Valentine's Day on February the 14th. We can celebrate Frederick Douglass.
Yes, sir. His life and works.
Yeah, we love Frederick Douglass. That's our Valentine.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
So yeah, there's going to be a lot of events. A lot of events going to be coming up soon once the gym is done, and hopefully we could get the gym done in the next 30 days. If that gym is done by October, I'm looking to have some sort of a study group, a regular study group, Pan-African focused study group inside the gym, like once or twice a month with some food, watch some movies. We want to get a big screen put up on the wall inside the gym. We already got bathrooms in there. It's going to be a nice little Pan-African clubhouse until we get the school ready.
Well, one thing that people often say is that we don't have enough black male teachers. Will you have enough black male teachers in your school? And does a person have to reside in Wilmington in order to come there to teach? And or do you have enough teachers already?
They do not have to reside in Wilmington now, but they will have to reside in Wilmington if they get hired, because they'll have to report to work every day. So it doesn't matter where they are. In the diaspora, for that matter, you can apply whether you live in Africa, London, or Wilmington, Delaware. Resumes can be sent to fdmgresumes@gmail.com. I repeat that, fdmgresumes@gmail.com. Please send a photo as well as a cover letter. But no, you do not have to be a resident of Wilmington, but you will have to relocate there. As far as the student population, because Wilmington borders Maryland, Jersey, and PA, we will be able to service young men from all 4 states. And we'll probably be the only independent school in the country that can service boys from 4 states.
Okay,
Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, and Delaware.
Right now, earlier you said that it's only 30 minutes from Philadelphia. Can the
30 minutes from Philadelphia.
Can a person commute?
30 minutes from Jersey and 30 minutes from Maryland.
So can a teacher commute?
Yeah, oh yeah, they can certainly commute. They can certainly. Oh, I see what you're saying. If they live close enough, yeah, they can definitely commute. There's no restriction on how far they're willing to drive to come to work every day, as long as they show up on time.
Yes. Okay, good.
And we will have parent interest forms at the festival on Saturday if a parent is interested. The form right now is only pre-K through 6, I believe, because we're going to start with elementary school. And we won't start with all 6th grade. It's probably going to be 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. But the reason the parent interest form is from pre-K to 6 is I want to see what the interest is. Because if we get a lot of parents of 5th graders and we don't have as many parents of 2nd grade, then we might do 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade to start. So this is our way to kind of find out, which grades are in highest demand, because naturally we're going to have to cater to the grades that the parents are wanting to send their children to.
And that's an answer to an earlier caller. She thought that maybe the school was only high school, but it's not just high school.
Now it's going to be K to 12. We're not even starting with the high school because we got to renovate the high school. We're starting with the elementary school because that's the school that's going to be finished first. So that it'll be if we do, let's say we do 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Then the 2nd year we'll do 1st through 5th, and the 3rd year we'll do K through 6th, and the 4th year we'll do pre-K through 7th, and then the 5th year we'll do daycare through 8th, and then we'll flush out the high school. So we won't get to the high school for about 5 or 6 years because we're going to move very slowly and very deliberately. We're not rushing for anything or anybody.
That's good. So now what about
if anybody complains as to why we don't have enough space in the school for their child, I'm going to point right across the street, Baba David, to the large Frederick Douglass High School and say, your child's seat is in that building over there. Now help us raise the money to get it renovated.
I was going to say, can parents pre-register? Because eventually the school is going to be in such demand that it'll be a waiting list. But can parents pre-register?
We'll probably do a raffle. We'll probably do a public raffle. If the demand is not initially strong, we'll do first come, first serve. But if the demand is very strong, then first come, first serve is not fair. We're going to have to do a public lottery where the children get selected. The parents don't have to be there. They'll be on the. We do want them to see it though, so it'll be broadcast live, and we'll just read off the names of the young men who have been selected to be in the inaugural class of the historic FDMG Academy. And I can't wait, Baba David. I'm telling you right now, the most important day in my future is when I walk into a classroom and say, I'm DrUMAR Ifatunde, and I'm your political science teacher, and today we're going to learn the countries of Africa. Get ready. We're going to roll them right. I can't wait to just start the lessons. I can't wait for the camping trips, the fishing trips, the college tours, the Africa trips. I can't wait until they first, because I already know that what we're going to do the first week of school, the first week will be more than what most black children get their entire 12 years of public education. Like I got some curriculum and I got some ideas and activities, man, that'll blow people's minds, but I keep them to myself. But once we open, boy, it's going to be something. And people ask me all the time, they say, well, how are you going to keep the parents, how are you going to keep the kids there? Well, first of all, I don't have to because the waiting list is going to be down the street and around the corner. But second of all, the children themselves will be their own advocates for staying in the school. They're going to be the ones to tell their mother and father, you better not take me out of here.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they're going to love what we're doing. Yeah. They're going to love the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. I promise you that. I promise you that.
But
that's the comment I have.
They're going to be breathing and eating Garveyism.
I hear you, and that'll certainly be nutritious for. But Eric, I wanted to mention Eric down in New Orleans that just went through the Hurricane Ida. Eric supports a lot of not just initiatives that he hear on this radio program, but he is really donates his money to causes. And I wanted to say publicly, Eric, because you went through the hurricane, is there anything that you need from the community?
Oh, we're doing fine right now, and but I'm humbled and very much appreciative of you putting that request out. But so far, we're doing well so far. So, but thank you for asking, though.
Okay, because we got to support. I believe in supporting those that support us.
Oh yeah. Well, I was glad to make a donation to DrUMAR school, and I hope to make some more.
Okay.
In the future, but I'm glad you. But DrUMAR, I just want to ask about the parents. They had a Afrocentric school here in New Orleans several years ago, and you mentioned curriculum. I'm glad you mentioned the curriculum. I'm not sure what the parents were looking for, but they had an Afrocentric curriculum, and some parents got upset because they said it was too black. They wanted them to deal with all those black issues. So is there a way that you can somewhat screen the parents so they won't sabotage what the children are learning at school?
That's a good question. I think for some schools, they will have to do that. For me, because of the strength of my following and the amount of parents who can't wait to enroll their children in a school, I already have parents who have already relocated to Delaware. Already. They've moved. They're there. That's how much they want their children to access the school. So for those parents who feel that the school is too black, they should just find another school.
Yeah, find a white school.
Because we're the only people who have a limit on our ethnic commitment. No other group has a limit on it. You never heard a Jew say to another Jew, "You're too Jewish," or an Italian to another, "You're acting too Italian." You never heard an Arab to another Arab, "You're acting too Arabic." Only black people have limits on their cultural identity and interest. They don't have no limits on their religion, though. They don't have no limits on that religion, but they have limits on their cultural alignment, and that's a damn shame. Well, I'm going to tell you, whatever school, if they thought that school was too black, they haven't seen anything. They haven't seen anything, because we are unapologetically African, and we will also be teaching African spirituality as well. The children do not have to practice African spirituality, but they must learn it. I've already had a father who's a supporter of mine told me that if his child has to learn about African spirituality, he can't come to the school. So I said, you need to find another place for him. Because no religion is more important than our people's future. And I'm sick and tired of black people putting their Islam before black people and putting their Christianity before black people. We are older than all of that. And I respect all the religions. I'm not anti-religion. But we are older than all those systems. We predate those systems. So why would you stop your child from learning the history of their people just because somebody brainwashed you into believing that your way is the only way? And I'm of the personal opinion that if a parent is that narrow-minded, it's best that their child not attend my school. I really believe that. It's best, because they're going to be problems the whole way. They're always going to be a problem. What happens when it's time to go to Africa? They're going to have problems with that. So it's just, unfortunately, a lot of black children are going to suffer because their parents are coons. And I hate to say that, but it's the reality.
Okay, so Eric, do you have any other questions for the doctor?
Well, I didn't get a chance to check this YouTube posting out directly, but I see Tariq Nasheed indicated was appreciative of Dr. Johnson congratulating Tariq Nasheed's ability to get a museum. So I was glad to see the two brothers working together and two giants in our community working together to build our institutions, whether it's on the East Coast and West Coast. I just want to congratulate both of you all and you all's accomplishment.
All right. Thank you so much, Eric.
All right. Take care, man.
Yes, sir. All right, we have another caller wants to join the conversation. Good evening, caller. Welcome to New Worldview. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Rose. I'm calling from Logan.
Oh, okay, Rose, you back?
Calling back. Hi. So is this going to be a public school or a charter school?
It's going to be an independent school, neither public nor charter.
Right. Now, do you have to reside in Wilmington in order to attend the school, or can you come from Jersey, Philadelphia?
No, you do not. As I was saying earlier, because it is independent, the children can come from anywhere as long as they can get to school.
You did say that.
And given where Wilmington, Delaware is positioned geographically, it's very feasible for children from Pennsylvania, Maryland, and New Jersey to also be able to attend the school.
Right. So, an Afrocentric school. So tell me about the curriculum. Tell me,
well,
as a parent, you're trying to move me in. What's the main thing about the curriculum that we should know about this?
Knowledge itself is the main thing. The focus of the school is to teach our black men to be leaders as well as institution builders.
What about
and so
the women?
In addition,
what about the women?
Well, this is a boys' school.
Oh, it's
That's
a boys'
my focus.
school.
Yes, it is. It is a school for boys.
Oh, well, damn. I've got a granddaughter.
But, let me share this with you, because we do have 2 school buildings, the Marcus Garvey Elementary School and the Frederick Douglass High School.
Right.
We have enough room on campus to accommodate the young women at some point in our immediate future.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean within 3 to 5 years, I think we will be ready to receive the young women into our Anna Douglas and Amy Garvey Princess Academy.
Right. Well, that's good. I like the concept. Men, leaders, young black men. Yeah, it's needed. Well, you keep up the great work, and it's going to be successful.
I appreciate you.
Right,
and we will be teaching agricultural science, dietary science, political and military science, economic and financial science, science of the black man, woman, child, and family, as well as African spiritual and cosmological science.
Right. And it's great. We do need to reach our young men at a very young age. These parents are failing. Okay, thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Rose.
Okay.
So now, Doctor, do you have any data or statistics on how many independent black schools there might be in the country?
We probably got to call on the good brothers and sisters of CB, an hour up the road in Trenton, Council of Independent Black Institutions. They work with a lot of the independent schools. I'm not sure if they're still functioning, but they're based in Trenton. They would probably have those numbers. I don't know what they are, but once we are up and running, Baba David, I do look to host my own independent black school retreats, professional developments for the teachers. I think we need to organize ourselves, stop competing with each other, and we need to turn ourselves into a school district. Like literally, if Baba David has a grandson who goes to an independent school in Philadelphia and they move to Chicago, your son should be able to switch right on over and go to a school in Chicago. And if you got to move again and come to Delaware, he should be able to switch right on over and come to the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. We have to achieve some degree of solidarity on the institutional level so that the independent school process can run smoothly in America, which it has not done in quite some time. Everybody's operating as individuals. So one of the things I'm going to do is try to bring those who are willing. Obviously, I got some haters and some enemies and some jealous folks out there. They can stay where they are. But for people who are willing to bring this thing together, we don't have to be robots. We don't, but there should be some level of interscholastic collaboration that benefits families and children as they move around the country.
Yeah, it should be transferable.
Absolutely.
So, listen, we have a caller that wants to call back to talk with you. But before that, I wanted to ask you, of course you remember, Dr. Ed Robinson developed a curriculum for the school district of Philadelphia. What'd they do? Left that in the drawer, never pulled it out? What happened with that?
They probably did. I'm wondering where it is, because I wouldn't mind giving a gloss at it to compare it to.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Section 8 for housing, they may have other programs for education. I don't know.
Yeah, it's called the Black Church.
Okay.
Black parents need to go and get all the money y'all engage to the church and tell them you need to pay your son's tuition. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, tell them that you're changing your ties.
I want to say this, Baba David, on a very, very serious note, we will not be able to cut our parents slack with tuition. And the reason we will not be able to cut our parents slack with tuition is because I've seen firsthand friends and associates of mine who have operated independent schools who were bankrupt because they start trying to work with their parents, and their parents took advantage of that generosity. So the first time you miss a payment, we will have to take your child out of school. We cannot allow a reputation to develop by word of mouth that if you show up and tell Dr. Umar you don't have the money, you're going to let your child go to school anyway. That is the quickest way for you to sabotage your own school. You cannot do that with black folks. You can't, and we won't. In fact, I won't even be dealing with the money. I'm going to have a couple pit bulls in the office. They're going to be dealing with the money. They're going to have no emotions, no generosity. If you do not pay that money, your child will not be here. We will get somebody off the waiting list, and we will keep on going. Very, very serious about that. In fact, the way the tuition schedule is probably going to operate is for the first year, you're going to pay for the whole semester tuition at once. So what that means is you will pay tuition for August through December, all at once, just like you do in college. And then during the fall break, you'll pay your spring tuition January through June, all at once. That's what you're going to do the first year. So the first year, Baba David, we not even think about no financial troubles because we're going to have all your money up front. There will not be a monthly tuition your child's first year. That's for every kid.
And they have to understand
the second year, we'll split it into 4 payments. Third year, we'll split it into 6 until we get you down to once a month. But you have to earn the once a month payment, not start with the once a month payment.
They have to look at it as a way of investing in their children. The same way they make investments, invest in your child's education.
And I know they got the money, Baba. How do I know they got the money? Because having been a school psychologist for 20 years, I've done 20 years of IQ testing of black kids whose parents pay for them to go to these wealthy, rich, white private schools. I've done that testing. I saw black parents working 2 and 3 jobs to try to give their child a decent education, spending $15,000 to $20,000 a year on tuition at these white schools. So I know our parents will pay it. And we're not trying to charge anything near that amount of money. If it's up to me, Baba, tuition will be at $500 and it'll stay there. Of course, I can't say that definitively because there's a lot of bills we still have to account for.
That's right.
But the fact that we own our campus outright, the only thing that's owed on it is the property taxes. But we own the buildings. We do not have a mortgage. That is going to help reduce tuition overall for the children. So I'm really hoping we can stay right around that $500 mark so there's no excuses for the parents. And if they have a problem with that, sacrifice those Air Jordans, sacrifice that blonde hair, sacrifice those fingernails, those toenails you get from
PlayStations,
sacrifice the PlayStation, sacrifice your cable bill. You spend it. If you want to give your children a first-class education, you can do it. But as you said earlier, Baba, it's a question of priority.
Yep, because certainly they spend all that money going to those elite schools to help them become indoctrinated, to help alienate them.
Bob, I'm talking $20,000 a year. I'm like, this is what you paying?
And you pay all that, and then they become, as you say, useless to the community.
Useless to the race. Totally useless to the race.
And then they probably don't even come home to see you on the holidays.
Probably not. No. As a man is taught, so is his thought.
Yeah, as you think of.
So, I'm just hoping, Baba, if this school passes inspection by the end of this calendar year, there's a very strong chance we open in August. Very strong chance we open in August. I cannot say definitive, but if that HVAC unit fits in well when we get it on Halloween and we get everything else situated out and the city gives us our approval, we may just be open in August.
All righty. All right. So listen, once more before you go, give us a rundown on next Saturday's event.
Yes, indeed. Black family everywhere. You are invited to the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Pan-African Excellence's first annual Unapologetically African Family First Festival, a.k.a. the Black Power Block Party, is going down this Saturday, Ethiopian New Year. Start off the African year right. Saturday, September the 11th from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. It is absolutely free for the whole family. Register online, FDMGfestival.com. If you have questions, FDMGfestival@gmail.com or DrUmarJohnson at yahoo.com, or you can text message me at 215-989-9858. Free food, free gifts, free T-shirts, vendors, performers, games for the Dakin Awards. There's going to be a fashion show, performance from the Universal African Dance and Drum Ensemble. Dr. Umar will keynote at 3:30, so you better be there at 3:30, which is the midway point of the festival. There will also be a special performance by Gil Scott Heron's band, the legendary Gil Scott Heron's band, and more networking, nothing but love, solidarity, socialization, come on out, meet and greet Dr. Umar. I've been all over the world, and now I'm back home in Philadelphia, Wilmington, Delaware, and that was you to come to me.